I was born in a village on the slopes of Kilimanjaro. And I was the first girl in my village to go beyond primary school to tertiary education, to a master's education, and then to work in a city. And ultimately, I worked with the United Nations for 31 years. Now, I come from a background where women were, can you hear me properly? Women were actually brought up to be strong, to manage the household, to manage the subsistence economy, to have, and therefore to have as many children as possible, because that was your workforce. And in fact, in my culture, a man could only marry more than one wife if he has enough land for each wife to have a piece of land for her and her children to be able to live without fighting each other for inheritance. So, because I was the first girl to go beyond primary school, there were many expectations made of me. First of all, as a woman, I was expected to behave well and to succeed, because otherwise I would scandalize the village and the other women. Secondly, I had been brought up to believe that life was either black or white, or right or wrong. And it was my duty not only to live a righteous life, but to make sure anybody I come in contact with also lives a righteous life. Because if I didn't, St. Peter's was not going to let me through the gate to heaven. So here I was, strong village woman with knowledge and a job and authority to tell people what to do. And first I was a journalist, so that was not very common for women, but they thought, I had a number of challenges, like the editor spiking my story because I didn't go out with him. And then I tell the boss, and the boss said, "Are you serious? You want me, a man, to come between you and my deputy to resolve an issue where it is your word and his? I mean, he'll think I want you more than him." So I was so upset, I actually went home and said, "Okay, boys, I'm going home. After 1 week, I'll come back, and then you will tell me what you've decided." When I came back, the boss told me, and he grew to be a head of state, actually. He says to me, "Oh, go sit down, Platonic Scholastica, and get on with your job, and if you have any trouble with the boys, please keep out of work. Keep it out of work." I had another example. I went to report in a court case, and I really like to dress well. You know, when at home, when I grew up, we had clothes for home, for work, clothes for school, and clothes for church. That's the biggest outing we did, yeah? And now I was working. I could buy myself nice clothes. So I had some seriously nice threads, and I wear trousers. I drove a motorbike to get around, and I was having fun. My hair was done nicely, and I go to court to report, and it was a murder case. So this guy, the judge, says to me, "You stay behind. I need to brief you on the case so that you don't commit any libel in reporting on it." And I was very flattered, So he closes the door. And he says, "Okay, I mean, you are very well put together, and I couldn't take my mind off you when I was you're dealing with this case, so let's get on with it. I said to him, what are you talking about? He said, foolish girl, you package yourself like that, and you are asking me what I'm talking about? What do you think marketing and packaging is all about? I said to him, oh, you're talking about how I am dressed. This is the first time I have a chance to buy nice clothes for myself. It wasn't for you. He said to me, no, you missed the point. Long story short, actually, he tried to rape me, but I was a strong girl. He managed to tear the silk blouse, but I said to him, listen, sweetie, you are going to give me your coat. You're going to drive me home. I'm going to change. You're bringing me back. I'll take my bike and go to write the story. And if you leave me alone, I will leave this out of the story. But he said to me, he did exactly as I said to him, but he said to me, I must never meet you on the streets alone. I said to him, don't worry, it won't happen. Why am I talking about this? Is because when it was part of what started men asking me, who does she think she is? And when I'm trying to pray, don't worry, we have a sign language. So by fluke, I went to work for the United Nations. And I'm saying by fluke because I didn't apply. I was educated by my government, and therefore, under Julius Nyerere. So when we finished university, we came and worked. We did national service, and then we worked for the government as part of paying back. And that was the best chance to get every child who could go to school, attend school. When I joined the United Nations, I was seconded by my government. And in the United Nations, you have many cultures. So the issue of who does she think she is was always, either it was said in my face, it was said behind me, why does she dress like the Queen of Africa? And I'm like, but I am, I am the Queen of Africa, you know? Because I needed to take these things of how I look was not important to me. What was important is what was inside. There was never any doubt. But when they started asking these questions, I would look to see, who are they talking about? Oh, they could be talking about me, actually. So I thought, on the one hand, they were not being kind. But on the other hand, what if they had a point? So I went and started researching, who am I? And I did find out that, first of all, I was a multi-faceted human being. I didn't know. I thought I was a human being. I was a Christian. I went to church. I don't know where my soul hung out, maybe watching BBC or CNN until I die. And then I go to heaven, and St. Paul says, you've been either a good girl or a bad girl, and I went to heaven or to hell. But I did find that, no, I was multi-level. I was body, which had 3 parts. The body, the part made up of food. I'm still trying to work on that one, as you can see. I love my food, you know. When I didn't have enough, now that I can buy what I like, they tell me I shouldn't eat everything I like. You know how life is not fair. I'm working on it. And then I was told, I found out we are also the subtle body, the mind. And the reason why this thing is made like an egg, what do you know, the flour, the timer, is because the ego is the one which constricts you. So when you feel bad, when you feel that your ego boundaries have been crossed, that's when you start getting angry and frustrated and start throwing your toys out of your coat and stuff like that. And then I was also told I had a soul, a spirit, which was made up of my own soul, my community soul, all the good things and the bad things from my family and my religion, my politics, and my national, international, that is the collective soul. And then there was the universal spirit, pure consciousness. I was very happy the way this session was started because I don't have to go there. Now, you then found that I was also made of other things, you and I, of the 5 elements of nature. And the only thing you need to know about that is there are 3 types according to Ayurvedic wisdom. If you are primarily Vata, all of us are made up of the 3. If you're primarily Vata, you are made up of air and space. If you're primarily Kapha, and Pitta is primarily fire and a bit of water. And if you are Kapha, you are primarily earth and some water. Now, moving on. Then, quickly, give us the whole slide, please. If you're Vata, and I want you to start, I'm sure you are beginning to figure out. If you're Vata, the interesting thing to note is that you are flexible, you move and talk quickly, you're creative. When you are balanced, you are energetic, etc. But when you are out of balance, you get anxious. My boss didn't greet me this morning. Oh my God, he doesn't like me or she doesn't like me. You make a nice movie, you will get several awards in Hollywood, and it only happened in your head. It never happened. They worry, they are anxious, they can't sleep. Next whole slide, please. Then we have these other folks. If you are completely Pitta, the fire. They are fiery in nature. They are hot, including in temperature, including in their temper. When they are in good shape, they are good decision makers, they are good leaders, they are all sorts of things. However, if you have a boss who is out of balance and is a Pitta, they tend to be angry, irritable, judgmental. Nothing is good for them, including for themselves. And they get aggressive, they even get skin rashes. Now, the 3rd type is actually Kapha. And you see the way this thing these ones are heavy set, they are loyal, they are laid back, they are good. They are also good, they like routine, they are content, they are calm. You can have a tsunami and they are like, oh, there's a tsunami, okay. How can I help? They don't get ruffled. However, out of balance, they resist change. It doesn't matter what good an argument you have. And sometimes they become attached, they withdraw, and you're like, that strong person actually can do this? Now, I don't know which one of them you were, but I happen to be Kapha Pitta. And when I was busy burning villages, and people saying to me, Kimaryo, you really burned that village. I said, which one are you talking about? That one, they said. I said, oh, they deserved it. Now then, when I was going through this, I thought, oh my goodness, I had a Pitta in balance. You see, can you show the Pitta? Angry, irritable, self-righteous, combining with being born a Christian and being told everybody, it's my job to take everybody to heaven. Everything is black and white. And I'm busy making sure you folks go to heaven. You are not giving me a chance, and I'm whipping you into shape. You are not agreeing. Pitta in balance. I'm like, how many apologies am I going to make? I have to start by forgiving myself. Now I have to start by asking for forgiveness from my children and from my very supportive husband and this and that. It gave me a sense of reality. On the Kapha side, I found that when I'm Kappa in balance. Usually I would have a Peter mind in balance and a Kappa body in balance. And this is what you are seeing in front of you. So passion is not always a good thing unless you have the awareness. Remember the first speaker was talking about awareness. Extremely important to be aware. You know, there are things which are done to us as women, but there are also things we do because we don't know. We are reacting. We are overreacting to what the injustices we perceive have been done to us. So you find that many women, when the higher they get, the more pressure they get, and then they are said that they are always shouting, you know, it is true actually. I don't know how it happens for the boys, because we all get out of balance. But the most important thing to do is to know, who are you? And that takes us to the last slide. Who are you really? And if you take nothing from this little presentation but one thing, what I have found out is, especially for those of us who have high jobs and, well, for all of us actually, we seem to be in a world where delivery, you know, time, deadlines, etc., they are getting out of balance. Stress is actually a global epidemic. And when you are driven by stress, then you are driven out of balance. Even your behavior changes. The issues go into the tissues. You get high blood pressure, you get anxiety, you get angry, easily angered, etc. It is as a result of that. So from now on, examine yourself from being a multi-layered person, but look to see, begin to sense when you are feeling out of balance. And then give yourself permission to figure out what it is, and then take a more nurturing choice. Now, we know that 90% of diseases are stress-related, especially for whether you are in the village or in the first world. So each and every one of us has stress. There's good stress and there is bad stress. So the final thing I would like to say is, know what your current mind-body state is. Because then, knowing is 50% of the job done. And finally, make time to meditate. There are many ways of meditating, but we are such social, yap, rushing people. We don't give ourselves, you know, we've become human doings instead of being human beings. So give yourself 20, 30 minutes in the morning and 20, 30 minutes in the evening to be a human being. Just be, and not a human doing. And if we all come out of here to stress that actually our workplaces need to address the issue of stress. No management school I went to taught me about the link between leadership and stress. And I think it is our right, it is also our responsibility, because when we are in balance, the work relationships improve, absenteeism drops, productivity increases, and the medical bill decreases. So those of you who are employers, you can see the benefit. And for the individual, you learn to grow younger and live longer. So watch this space. If you invite me next year this time, I should be looking different because I'm working on it. Thank you very much for your attention.